Why did Deuce leave Hollywood Undead? Let's talk about it. Now, as we all may know, Deuce left HU at the end of 2009, and ever since then, there's been no confirmation on the reason why he was left or kicked out of the band. But there's been stories from either side of the party, and a lot of this stuff does make sense. So I'm going to go into what we have heard could be the reason, and then I'm also going to give my opinion what the reason I think he left himself. So let's get into it. We're going to start off straight away, at the time when they were getting interviewed, around the time the breakup, HU kind of gave it a blank answer and said it was over musical differences. Now, I think that could be true in a lot of cases. Obviously Deuce was the main producer of the band, and maybe the rest of the members wanted to move on and maybe get other producers in there instead of Deuce. So maybe that would have been a reason as well. And apparently Deuce at the time saying it was just down to jealousy. Everyone was complaining that he was the popular one out of the band and he got kicked out. And we know at the time he said a lot in his diss song towards HU called Story of the Snitch, which was, that song got millions of plays back then. That was a really, really interesting and fucking crazy song to hear at the time. HU never responded to the diss, even though there was a song on their second album called Lights Out, and a lot of people claim that's a direct answer to Deuce. But that's for another video. So yeah, it was never really clear throughout the years why the split happened. Do you know what I mean? Because soon after HU got, obviously we all know Danny, and he's been there now fucking 3 times as long now as Deuce would have been there. I think they're on their fucking 7th album now. So one of the reasons why I think maybe Deuce left himself, because I think maybe Deuce, as we all know, Scientologist, HU members, from what I get of it, might have left that life and wanted to move on more kind of traditionally without the church's involvement. And as we all know, look at Deuce's situation right now. He has nobody around him because everyone that was around him at the time was a Scientologist. And as far as we all know, he's not a part of them anymore. I have another video that gets into more of that if you want to check that out. But it is interesting, because we only know about all this from Shady Jeff, and he even came out and said that he thinks maybe one of the reasons why Deuce is gone is because he was balls deep in Scientology. Now, there's records of every band member that have, from HU and Deuce, records, doing courses, doing classes within Scientology. So it is kind of common fact that the HU were all Scientologists for a period of time. So maybe the time around Swan Songs, when they were getting more popular and more money, maybe HU, the rest of the band members, wanted to, as I said, go a more traditional route through music. Because there's been there's been plenty of artists throughout the fucking history of the music industry that have had problems with record labels and this and that. HU and Deuce seem to be one of the worst case scenarios, because every single HU album that was released, most of the time was from a different record label than the last. They just ran into so many problems. Obviously, we know the story about Swan Songs being pretty much finished and recorded 2005, 2006, and it didn't come out till 2008. From all the wantons of censorship and taking songs out. Who knows, man? Maybe there's more to it than just censoring music. Woody had a lot of issues with record labels, and then obviously the Deuce situation where Invincible took years to come out, and even that first 9 Lives album that came out in 2012, I believe, them songs were written 3-4 years prior to that. We heard all of them on the internet at around that time I just said. So even Nine Lives took a long time to come out. And again, now HU is working on a new album, and they're signed to Sumerian Records, so that's a new record label now again from the last one. But if you're listening, like, drop me a comment and tell me, like, what do you think is the main reason why Deuce left Hollywood Undead? Because it couldn't be just for, like, musical differences. Like, that was his band, so I don't really understand how they could have kicked him out from him wanting to control the music more. It's interesting. Like, I always wonder, like, if Deuce continued on with the band, what would their sound like these days? It'd be a mixture of, I'm assuming, Invincible, because what's interesting, a lot of songs from Nine Lives, I do often, like, think, like, I wonder which songs were for HU, like, because Deuce wrote songs like his, like, that's why he always had, like, Truth and Gadget and Jeffree Star on his songs, because, like, his music was kind of designed for having multiple people in there, like, and that's what was good about it. Like, he could make really good poppy rock songs and rap songs, like, do you know what I mean? But, like, he was very good at writing other people's lyrics, and I say that's exactly what he done in HU all them years. Like, he was definitely writing all them lyrics. But man, back onto why I think maybe he left, like, maybe he was like a Scientology fucking godchild or something like that, love child, like, do you know what I mean? Maybe he was looked at really precious in the church at the time, and the church was just, like, giving them more and more and more, and maybe he just kind of sided with the church more. I don't know. And HU just wanted to get away from that life. Cause I'm not gonna drop names, but pretty much Deuce's whole camp were Scientologists at one stage or not. And now, since maybe the rumours of being sick, rumours of this and that, I'm not getting into it too much, because I've heard a lot of people saying the last Deuce video I done was a little bit distasteful, so I didn't mean it in that way, let's just say. But I'm a big fan of Deuce, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying anything in hurtful ways. This is pure speculation and with a lot of facts. I think one of the main reasons Deuce is not in that band anymore is because of the church. Drop a like if that's what you think. Dislike if you think that's bullshit. But honestly, it's interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about, because HU had a problem with Jimmy Hume being Deuce's, like, quoted personal assistant. He was a Scientologist, like, so. That, like, I wish we knew a little bit more about it. Like, I've heard a few people online that was like ex-girlfriends of Deuce's and all that, and they think one of the main reasons for the split was Deuce being hardcore Scientologist. We all know about the story where Deuce didn't show up at the airport, or Deuce didn't show up to a show. He got a phone call saying the band is split up. I feel all of that was bullshit now from Deuce at the time. Whereas I feel like HU just wanted to keep a kind of like kind of, how do I say it? Like, kind of like narrow it down to just, like, musical differences. We'll just leave it at that. And we all know at the time Deuce had, like, an extreme ego, and he was literally walking around like it was 50 Cent. So maybe they just didn't like him. But to kick the man who basically built the band and done every bit of the music is quite cruel to me. So I don't know. The one thing I know for sure, I don't think Deuce left on his own merit. Like, I don't think he left himself. I definitely think he was, like, I definitely think that, like, rumoured kind of vote. Now, I heard it in a few interviews, like, that there was a vote to kick him out of the band. I believe that did happen. I don't know. What do you think? Anyone that's still watching, make sure you drop a like, comment. Like the last video, drop me your favourite Deuce song as well. But I want to know from you today, what do you honestly think is the reason why Deuce got kicked out of the band? Because it's never really, this topic hasn't really been touched on that much. Like, all we know is from the face value what we know from these interviews, which is quite vague, man. It's quite vague. Like, there's definitely a bigger reason. Like the Swan Songs was a platinum selling album, and the man who basically made that a platinum selling album, you want to kick out a band, like, that to me doesn't make any sense. That to me sounds like there's definitely something deeper there, something deeper rooted there. That's the main reason. If you made it this far, as I said, drop a like. More Deuce videos are coming. This was just short and sweet because it's more of a speculation and more like one to think about because we don't know a lot. See you on the next one.